Welcome to another Unmuted with Marsha. Now, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we want to focus in on that a little bit. Last December, Senator Duckworth and I introduced a piece of legislation, the Salons Act. Now, this is really important because it allows training that is done by a nonprofit for all of our estheticians and barbers and beauticians. And it turns out that Tennessee and Illinois have moved forward with this training and making certain that people in what is termed the beauty business many times are educated and know how to spot the signs of domestic violence. Now, in Tennessee, our work on Salons Act really got a boost with Suzanne Post, who is a stylist, hairstylist, and has a salon in Franklin, Tennessee. And she brought this forward, started working in Tennessee. This is something we are trying to incentivize and do nationwide. So welcome our guest today, Suzanne Post. And Suzanne, talk a little bit about your story and why this is important to you.
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity. I am so grateful to be here and be able to share a little bit more about this initiative and this important work. I've been a stylist and a salon owner here in Tennessee. I'm now based in Franklin, but I've been in the Nashville and Franklin area doing hair for nearly 30 years. And of course, over those years, I've had the opportunity to connect with wonderful people in my chair that I've, developed a relationship with year after year, month after month, decade after decade in some cases. And yet this advocacy work that I'm doing was born out of a very personal season for me as a survivor of domestic violence. I know firsthand how isolating it is to be in an abusive relationship, how difficult it can be to take steps to leave safely, and how important it was for me personally to have someone trusted and close to me that was educated with the signs of domestic violence and helped to give language to what I was actually going through. Over the years, I had people tell me that they didn't like us together or encourage us to leave. My abuser was my husband and the father of my son, as well as my coworker. And so our lives were very intertwined. And realizing that what I was in was not just a hard relationship, but actually an abusive relationship, opened my eyes to signs that I was not aware of personally. While it did turn very scary physically after I took steps to leave, I needed someone who was educated about what that actually was to allow me the space to safely get out of the relationship. And it was very hard. It included moving 6 times in 6 weeks. I had to take steps to get armed security in order to safely be able to continue to work in my business that I had just opened. Ultimately, I'm on the other side of that season and in a beautiful new season now with my husband and family. But I knew that I was very fortunate to be alive
Right.
on the other side of it.
Yes, and your willingness to share your story has been so important to this. And talk for just a minute. Let's drill down on why it is important for stylists and barbers and estheticians to have this training.
Thank you, Senator. Turning the pain and the hard season into this new initiative has been incredibly healing. And as stories from barbers and cosmetologists and beauty professionals have come in, it has helped to continue to fuel this work. I was inspired to start this education after hearing that similar movements had started in other parts of the country. And I knew that this was something we needed, not only in Tennessee. I knew that Tennessee, like many other states, had a crisis around domestic violence, and that we needed to think outside the box, do something different to reach people in our community with these resources. And so I approached my local YWCA, and they are a leader in domestic violence support in our community. And we started training beauty professionals salon by salon in person. And it very quickly became evident that it needed to be bigger than what we were able to reach with those trainings,
And,
reaching
you
dozens
know,
of
if I
people.
can jump in on that,
Yes,
it was at that point you all realized it wasn't just you who could spot the signs of domestic abuse, but other cosmetologists were doing likewise, but did
yes,
not know what to do.
exactly. We knew that this was not new information. We had been seeing the signs since the beginning of time, quite frankly, but we didn't have the language to recognize exactly what it was that we were seeing. And so we were either responding with caring but maybe harmful advice that could actually put our clients in deeper danger, or not quite knowing how to respond and just kind of freezing when given the opportunity to respond appropriately. And so this training actually gives the signs, the resources to direct people, to take the pressure off of the beauty professional and allow them to just direct people to the right therapist, to the right professional that is able to add that support.
And what kind of success are you seeing, and what kind of stories are coming back to you and to the YWCA as you're doing this training?
It has been incredibly touching. We have had stories from stylists that have said, I've done hair since 1974, and I so wish that this had been available back then. I've seen so many people over the years that I know could have used these resources. I've had one stylist reached out and said that she saw herself in the training. She recognized that things that she had been seeing in her own relationship were actually signs of abuse. And she said, after receiving this education, I started safety planning and actually have gotten out of this relationship. I did it very slowly and carefully, but I'm now successfully in this peaceful place and safe. I've
That's
had salon owners say that they have, I had one actually reach out within the last month who said that a couple of weeks after he took the training, a stylist reached out to him and said that someone had just disclosed that she was in an abusive relationship and didn't know how to respond. And he said the magic of that timing was incredible, that I knew exactly what the hotline number was. And I even knew how to advise her to direct that conversation in a sensitive way. And so, and there's thousands of responses that have come in since we launched our own website about a
yes.
year ago.
And what is that website? Because there may be barbers and stylists that are watching and they would like to find out how to,
Absolutely.
how to do the training.
The training can be found at sheerhaventraining.org. And our education is free. It's 20 minutes and it's available online. And since we have launched this training online, the way that we have it now, not just in person, we have actually reached people around the globe with this education that was originally started here in Tennessee, but we have reached people in over 100 countries around the world, which is incredible. And the response is really universal. People have been wanting this education. This is something that has been
Yeah,
desperately needed in the
you
community.
know, you're so right about that. And Suzanne, I think that as we have come to know what you all are doing with the training and realizing that it is your estheticians and your stylists, your cosmetologists who are looking at the head and the neck and skin, and they can spot bruises or lacerations and enter into those conversations to help people get that 1-800 number and be able to protect themselves. You have been a wonderful guest for Unmuted. Thank you for the work that you are doing, and thank you for spending some time today with our audience. And always, individuals that are watching us and in our audience, you can reach us on social media at Marsha Blackburn. Thank you for joining us today.